The Basic of Anger by Rich Tennant. Presented by Smarty Peeps. Anger, the Universal Emotion, Chapter 1. What do college students, corporate executives, housewives, and pre-literate tribesmen in Borneo and New Guinea have in common? They all recognize an angry face when they see it. Anger, along with joy, fear, sadness, and surprise, is a universal emotion. All cultures around the globe have anger in their peoples as an integral part of day-to-day life. Anger is part of the survival mechanism of human beings. When faced with a threat, not unlike other animals, humans either run away or attack. Anger is the fuel behind that attack. But anger can also have the opposite effect and lead to our untimely demise. As Chapter 3 explains, too much anger can cause heart attacks, precipitate disabling work injuries, and facilitate risky sexual behavior. Anger truly is a double-edged sword. Dispelling common anger myths. Before you can manage your own anger, you need to be aware of what anger is and isn't. Unfortunately, myths about anger seem to abound. Here are some of the myths I want to dispel right from the get-go. Males are angrier than females. If by angrier you mean how often people experience anger, it's simply not true that men are angrier than women. Surveys show that women get mad just as frequently as men, about once or twice a week on average. On the other hand, men tend to report more intense anger, while women tend to hang on to anger longer. Anger is bad. Anger serves a variety of positive purposes when it comes to coping with stress. It energizes you, improves your communication with other people, promotes your self-esteem, and defends you against fear and insecurity. Well-known individuals who have left their names behind after leaving this world were all angry men, but they turned that anger into social reform that made the world a better place. Anger is good. When it leads to domestic violence, property damage, sexual abuse, drug addiction, ulcers, and self-mutilation, anger is definitely not good. Anger is only a problem when you openly express it. As few as 10% of people act out their feelings when they get angry. The other 90% either suppress their anger, I don't want to talk about it, or repress their anger, I'm not angry at all, really. People who express their anger are the squeaky wheels who get everyone's attention. People who repress or suppress their anger need anger management just as much. The older you get, the more irritable you are. It's the other way around. As people age, they report fewer negative emotions and greater emotional control. People, like wine and cheese, do tend to improve with age. Anger is all in the mind. Nothing could be farther from the truth. Emotions are primarily physical in nature. If anger were only a state of mind, why would someone say, I feel like I have a big fist in my chest when I get that angry? Believe me, when you get mad, that emotion is instantly manifested in muscles throughout your entire body, the hairs on the back of your neck, your blood pressure, your blood sugar levels, your heart rate, your respiration rate, your gut, even your finger temperature. It warms up, long before you're aware of what's happening. Anger is all about getting even. The most common motive behind anger has been shown to be a desire to assert authority or independence, or to improve one's image, not necessarily to cause harm. Revenge is a secondary motive. A third motive involves letting off steam over accumulated frustrations, again with no apparent intent to harm anyone else. Only certain types of people have a problem with anger. Actually, over the years I've spent helping people with anger management. I've worked with all types of people: truck drivers, college professors, physicians, housewives, grandmothers, lawyers, policemen, career criminals, poor people, millionaires, children, the elderly, people of various colors, nationalities, and religions. Anger is a universal emotion. Anger results from human conflict. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. One of the leading experts on anger has found that people can get angry by being exposed to foul odors, aches and pains, and hot temperatures, none of which involve, or can be blamed on, the actions of others. Understanding the role of emotions in your life. Emotion is a compound word. The E stands for energy and the motion means exactly what it says, movement. Emotions move you to act in ways that defend you from threat, lead to social attachments and procreation, cause you to engage in pleasurable pursuits, lead to reattachment after some type of meaningful loss, and lead you to explore your environment. Without emotion, life would be at a standstill. Psychiatrists have a term for people who appear to lack emotions, including anger. It's alexithymia. Alexithymics tend to have difficulty identifying different types of feelings, appear stiff and wooden in relating to others, lack emotional awareness, lack enjoyment, have trouble distinguishing between emotions and bodily feelings, appear overly logical when it comes to decision making. Lack sympathy for others, appear perplexed by other people's emotions, be unmoved by art, literature, and music, have few, if any, emotional memories, for example, memories of childhood. You want to have emotions, but you want to be in control of those emotions. You want to let anger move you to write a letter to the editor in your local newspaper about some social injustice. You want your anger to move you to stand up for yourself when your talents are being exploited in the workplace. Anger that says to your spouse, "Hey, something is not working here," is good for a marriage. But if your anger only moves you to hurt others, or yourself, then you definitely have a problem. Think of anger as a tool that can help you throughout life if you know how to use it, and think of anger management as a reference on how best to use that tool. Getting the help you need. Everybody needs support, nobody can go through life completely alone. When you're embarking on a major change in your life, the help of other people is especially important. And believe me, managing your anger is a major life change. Support comes in many forms. To manage your anger effectively, you need all the following kinds of support. Emotional support, you need people who are behind you 100%, people who know about your problems with anger and are cheering you on as you figure out how to manage it. Informational support, you can have the best of intentions, but if you don't have the information you need about anger and how to manage it, you won't get far. Lucky for you, you hold in your hands all the information you need to get a handle on your anger. Tangible support, sometimes you need some hands-on support. An angry mother who is on the verge of losing her temper and abusing her child can sure use a neighbor who can step in and become a surrogate parent while mom goes somewhere and cools off. Appraisal support, you need people who are willing to give you honest feedback about your anger, as well as how much improvement you've made, no matter how small. Here's how you can garner all the support you need in order to succeed at anger management. Keep in mind that most people want to be supportive, they're just waiting on you to give them an opportunity. Take the initiative and ask your closest friends and family members for their support. Support that goes unrecognized or unused is no good. Most people have far more support than they take advantage of. This is no time to think, "I don't want to be a burden on anyone." Believe me, you're more of a burden when you're angry than when you're not. Be willing to give support to your friends and family in turn. Support must be reciprocal. In order to receive it, you must give it. Keep in mind that no one person can satisfy all your support needs. One person may be able to offer emotional support, while another may help out in a more tangible way. Don't be too surprised if, at first, you have trouble getting support for your efforts at anger management. Remember, you've probably hurt a lot of people with your anger over the years, and they may have some lingering resentment, fear, and uncertainty. That's natural. But if you're truly committed to managing your anger, chances are they'll eventually rally to your cause. You'll know when you're there. Often, people who have been successful at anger management have a hard time appreciating just how far they've come in their emotional life. I've made great strides in managing my own anger over the past several years, something my wife and kids appreciate very much, but I really didn't understand how healthy I was until I recently had a moment of full-blown rage at a social event. I found myself so angry I couldn't speak for fear of what awful things would come out of my mouth and, as if that wasn't enough, I experienced mild chest pain that took an hour or so to go away. Believe me, it took all the skills I outline in this book to calm down and regain some semblance of emotional equilibrium. I had forgotten what that level of anger felt like and it scared me. But after it subsided and I thought about it, I realized that the reason it got my attention and felt so awful was because this was the first time in years that I'd experienced what, earlier in my life was, regrettably, an all too usual part of my day. One way you know you're succeeding in managing your anger is when you begin to realize that things that used to set you off no longer do. Another way you know you've changed is when people who know you well begin to give you unsolicited positive feedback about your improved temperament. And you know you've succeeded when that angry fist you feel in your chest day after day is no longer there, replaced by an abiding sense of inner peace. In many respects, the work of anger management is never done, you're always a work in progress. Every day is an opportunity to exercise your anger management muscles. Thanks for watching. If you want to watch Chapter 2, please mention in the comment. Also like, share and subscribe the channel Smarty Peeps.